Hello and welcome to Long Time No See, the podcast, coming to you from Gold Diggers Recording Studios in Los Angeles, California. We'll be getting to know some of your favorite comedians a little bit better, and so will they. Each week's guests have no idea who the other guest is, so without further ado, please remove your blindfolds and introduce yourselves.
For sure.
I can't figure out how to get my blindfold off.
Hi, Michael Falzone. I go by Michael.
Amy Silverberg.
Yes.
I go by Amy.
Dude, you're so small. You're the smallest person
Are we
I've
supposed to
ever
say
met.
that we know each other? Or are we supposed to
know
not?
each other.
We
How do
each
you guys
other.
know each other? We can go start there.
I respect Amy a lot as a comedian.
I don't
and a
respect him at
writer.
all, but I know him.
My comments are contingent upon your comments. So I just want to say that I'm a big fan of you, regardless of how you feel about me.
Honestly, I know Mike's married, but if this was a situation where the blindfold came off and I'd have to marry whoever was across, I would be like, phew, I'll marry Mike.
Yeah, same.
Like, I'll take him.
All right, we're going to start off nice and easy. What was your most recent bomb, and how did it compare to your worst bomb?
Okay, I got one.
Me too.
Go ahead.
I had a recent bomb in Manhattan Beach at a small, they did like surf wax. It was called Beers on the Beach. I was having one of those experiences where the crowd was like kind of quiet. Danny Jollis got up and was like finally like cracking them open.
Yeah.
And then when I was in the crowd, I was like so overconfident. I was like, when I get up there, like
just
it's,
wait.
oh yeah. And I think that was the problem. And then I got up and suddenly I was sweating so profusely like I haven't since I was in my first year.
Yeah, real physical nervousness.
Yeah, and like red, and it was a very low stakes show, but for some reason, I think it was the confidence that, and then I told a joke that I have not told, like I didn't even know where it came from. It was like a hand job joke that I have not said since my like second month, and I was like, where did that? And I both didn't remember it and didn't know where it was coming from, so it was crazy.
Like you have a panic bag inside of you.
A panic bag that that aren't good. Like that's not a good joke. That's not like a solid joke to tell when I'm panicking.
Yeah.
That was like a hand job joke I wrote my second week. It was so odd.
Damn. I've done a similar thing before.
It was like I was having an out of body experience, and the one thing I could think of was hand job at a bar mitzvah. Like that was. Anyway.
Yeah. Maybe that's what it felt like.
Yeah.
I did a late night Friday night show at Madhouse. You ever do Madhouse?
Sorry, I shouldn't
Dude,
say
I
that.
love Madhouse.
Okay,
I'm gonna be
I
totally
don't.
honest.
I like the people who run it,
Yeah.
and I like the people who go there.
And
okay.
what don't you like?
I don't like the layout. You know, it was
Sure.
a Hard Rock Cafe, and they haven't.
Was it Hard Rock?
Yeah, and they haven't really switched it. I just, when I go there, I realize this wasn't worth the trip or the money. And
Every time?
all of that to say, when they book me again, I'll probably head down.
We should co-headline a weekend, I think.
I would love.
My friend Natasha was there, and she was like, I can't wait to watch you bomb. And I said, there's no way. I'm on months of good shows. I'm on a pretty good run. And I did. I just bombed. Those
But isn't
people
that
late
when
at
it's
night don't
time?
care.
That happened to me in the Manhattan Beach. I was like, I'm due. In my mind, I was
Yeah.
like, I'm due for a bomb because I've had so many good shows.
Yeah, you
know?
say, I'm due for a bomb. And then in your head, you go,
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I'm due for a bomb, and then I was standing in the audience looking around, just being like, I know exactly how to handle this. And then I got on. I was like, you know, I'm gonna riff. And then I got on stage, and like, the volume on the microphone was too low too.
Okay,
So I was like, hello.
yeah, like a little mouse.
I was like a mouse. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that sucks.
Any more about you bombing it? Were you like a mouse?
No. I was like a confident comedian.
Rat.
But bombing. Confident rat. Yeah, which is kind of my vibe. That's my voice.
That's what I've always said. He's like Ratatouille if he didn't cook.
It sucks when you're bombing and like I wanted to try new things and then you knew that nothing was going to work. So you try to go to like tried and true things. So you tell really uninspired versions of your best jokes.
And
to make
you're like
people
telling
go.
it like a robot.
Like you have to prove to those people that you really do this other times.
I think the worst thing too is somebody who was at that show that I bombed at, he was like, I've never seen you before. And I was like, he was like, I'm so glad I finally got to see you. Like, I've never seen you before. And I was just like, this was a terrible set. And he was like, no. And I was just like, honestly,
I've
fuck
seen
me.
people say stuff into a microphone into a silent room.
Yeah,
before.
no, he was like, I like what you were up there doing.
way up there.
Yeah.
That's where he lives.
Yeah. And I was just like, motherfucker. And I would think
We drove
after
6 hours.
so many years that I wouldn't, but then I still get in bed at night and I'm like, right as I'm about to fall asleep, I like open my eyes and think like hand job. Like that was what you got.
The hand cord, the hand job rip cord.
Yep.
Yeah.
What is something that a lot of people love but you just don't get?
Taylor Swift.
Oh.
Sorry. You might have to cut this part out if you want it to do well on the internet.
I'm not a big pizza fan. It's not like that I'm anti-carb. I like noodles and rice.
You just don't like bread and cheese.
Bread's not for me. And I think I don't like... When someone's like, I'll bring you a free pizza as like payment for something, I'm like, don't bother.
Don't bother with the
I'm
free
not
pizza.
coming.
I'm not going to eat your trash.
Yeah,
your
I'm not
hot
going to eat your
trash.
bread,
What
cheese.
are you? Are you like English person or German?
What descent am I?
Yeah.
Don't you find the way he said that was like threatening?
The way I said that?
Yeah, I'm asking our producers.
You need backup from
Yeah,
this one?
I'm like, well, I was going to say I'm Jewish, but I guess I'm from America. Like,
Yeah. No, I guess those
this
are...
is how we find out that Mike Falzone's a big anti-Semite.
Yeah, can I get one of these cameras real close?
Yeah.
I got some things to get off my chest.
Yeah. He's like, Kanye West, not that bad. He's got hits.
It's just that he dropped out of college and he accomplished so much.
Yeah. Well, Falzone, you're obviously Italian.
So
Do
you
you
knew
love
that this
pizza?
question wasn't going to go. Yeah, I love pizza. Yeah.
Okay, God.
Yeah, I love pizza.
Mike's like the kind of guy who has an uncle who thinks he invented pizza. You know you do. You know. Like a great uncle
I would
who's like,
disagree if I could.
I thought of putting prosciutto on.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I always thought the bread was too cold. So one day I heated it up by doing some cheese.
I think a lot of people don't love Taylor Swift.
Or boba. I could have said boba. That's this podcast Mike's version is boba. Do you like that?
I'm not a big boba person.
Yeah, don't give me an activity. I'm taking a drink.
Well, there's something disgusting about sucking a ball up through a straw.
Hell yeah.
It's like spitballs.
Yes, but the reverse.
Yeah, but like made of rice.
I hate it.
Can we get the next question?
Yes. What inedible thing do you wish you could eat?
Oh, dogs.
Why did you say it like that? Why did you say it like, oh, I'll say it before somebody else says it?
I thought it's so obvious. I see a little dog. I'm like, I would consume this dog.
You have that like aggressive affection.
Yes, like that when I see something cute, like a little wiener dog.
You love wiener dogs. That's
I love
all you
wiener
tweet
dogs.
about.
I think I tweet about more things than just that. Let's relax.
Do we have a feed?
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. Inedible thing. I don't know. Candle?
You want to eat a candle?
Not really, but I felt pressure to come up with an answer.
It's not my fault. I'm so much quicker on my feet than Mike, making him look bad.
I'm trying to actively eat less edible things. So I'm not looking to pile on with the things that I can eat.
He's like, no, let us know. Candle, yes.
I guess kale. No. I don't know. I'm just, once in a while you see like a rock. You ever see a rock go through a rock tumbler?
Yeah, and it's like rock candy. Makes you
Yeah.
think like it'll be delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was me trying to help you connect with you.
Thank you. Thank you. That was very helpful.
Did you feel like we kind of were on Love is Blind before we were revealed to each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
Worst fad you were into?
Tumbling rock.
Sleeping with frat guys in college. I feel like sleeping with guys who didn't care if I lived or died.
Was that a
fingering
thing?
me at frat parties? I when I look back on college, I was in a sorority, like a blonde hot sorority at a party collge, and I was so
Why'd you
depressed.
say those first two words so fast?
I was just so depressed.
I was
and
in Super Hot Sorority and...
well, no, I just think I had nothing in. I didn't even know what it meant to be depressed. So it was
Sure.
only later that I was like, oh, everybody in college wasn't like having trouble getting out of bed and being like fingered by guys who hated them.
I thought we were just tired.
So that was my fad.
A fad to sleep with people you don't like.
I think
Something that goes in and out.
I think I was at a college at a time where we were very like Sex in the City. Like I'm Samantha, you know. Everyone was
everyone's
like
the Samantha.
I know this is not how it was, but when I think about it in my head, I'm like, how many guys did you sleep with? Like we were like ravenous, kind of.
Yeah. College
in a
was
way
tight.
that, yeah, you probably loved.
It was awesome. I had a great time. College is cool because if it's like you get the urge to masturbate, but you know that somebody else could be there as well.
Where did you go to college? Like
Fairfield University.
I thought he was gonna say like DeVry. So, because
What
you know
about
I
me?
teach at a college now,
Yeah, DeVry.
and I teach at DeVry, and I tell them I'm like just chill out. The stuff that you think is really
Why
important
are you
now.
depriving them of their gross
Mike's
depravity?
like, let a weird guy finger you on a keg.
Yeah. He has to learn. Everybody doing sex in college has to learn stuff. They got to learn to be bad. They got to go through all their being bad because then you want them to be 30 and to have a meaningful relationship and be
And then
bad,
learn then, yeah.
and then be
learn
fingering
that.
for the first time at
Just
34.
how you learned with your wife who's still teaching
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm waiting till we renew our vows so she lets
So
me
she can
finger
bring
her
it-
for the first time.
She's gonna bring a chalkboard trying to show you what to do.
Yeah, I can't wait because I have the thirst for knowledge. I didn't have
And
it
for
when I was
pussy.
Welcome
Oh,
back.
where's the camera? Yeah. Okay.
It's just that one is on.
Okay. I'm looking at a camera that's not on. I'm like winking at it.
Yeah. That's a computer.
Okay.
What would constitute a perfect day for you?
This is kind of nice. This
Yeah.
with food, with pizza. You can go fuck yourself.
I like to be on the beach. I don't necessarily like to go in the water. I like to read a book on the beach. Okay. I like the Korean spa.
Yeah.
Um,
Where they walk on you.
no one's walking on you at the
They
Korean
don't
spa.
walk on you?
No.
What's the one I'm thinking of?
Maybe Russian.
Oh, okay.
I like to be relaxed, maybe have a nice day where I walk around a new town,
Yeah.
have a cocktail at the end of the day.
Big fan.
I'd like to do stand up most days.
You're doing stand-up on your date?
Yeah. No, I'm not on a date. I'm by myself.
Was this not perfect date?
Perfect day.
Day.
DAY. Yeah. Oh, I didn't even think I should probably have thought to bring my boyfriend on my perfect day. Is that rude?
Damn, dude. And that's recorded? And that's the
I was
clip?
like, my perfect day. I was literally picturing myself alone, like walking around the town.
My perfect day. Well, there's no other people.
Well, yeah, and my boyfriend and I have this conversation a lot, just that he thinks of me so often, and that I'm
And you don't. And you're not.
I'm not thinking about him as often as
Maybe he
one
does
would
it
hope.
enough for the both of you.
Wow, you're really making me laugh. I'm like,
You really make me realize some things about my
oh,
relationship.
yikes!
My perfect day, of course, would be waking up next to my wife, Zoya,
Like, I set you up for that.
and just being with her all day. Doesn't matter what we do, just together.
You motherfucker.
I really get a lot of enjoyment out of waking up early. And
Oh my god, that's so lame.
can I do my answer?
Sorry.
I'm sorry you hate pizza and when other people talk. I like to smoke a little bit of weed and do something creative and get some shit done before like 10 o'clock in the morning. And then I like to take a break around 10 and I like to this reminds me of a question that I was asked recently by a friend of mine who became like a life coach. And he was like, tell me what your day is like, or what your perfect day is like. And then if you say something drastically different from what you normally do, that means you got to change your life around. So I just kind of went through one of my normal days
Okay.
where I get some shit done and I relax and then, like you said, stand up at night. And he was like, okay, so where can we change that up? And I'm like,
And you're like,
I
I'm
don't really
living my
wanna-
perfect. Okay, the reason why I said something mean when you said you woke up early is because that was a defense mechanism because I'm jealous that
You think I don't know that?
wake up early and that
think I
you
don't
get
know?
stuff done.
Yeah.
I'm like a night writer, which conflicts with stand up. It's like I'm trying to force myself to be better during the day.
Is that why I always see you with your notebook out when other people are on stage going, what did they say?
Yeah, no, I'm
What was
writing
the
down
last couple
Dear
words?
Diary, I hate Mike so much. Another hack joke from Mike Falzone.
Damn, dude. That's a thick notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect day is normal day.
What job would you be terrible at?
Oh, so many. I have one that pops into my head though. Do you watch Below Deck on Bravo?
No.
Okay, well, do you guys know that show? They're on a yacht, and I would be so bad on. You're either working on deck, so you're like pulling ropes, or you're inside like doing laundry, and I just was thinking to myself, I would be so bad at both of those things, like interior. You know, like I'm not good at like I'm not good at like taking care of a home, but I'm also not good. I don't have upper body strength. So I just thought if I was on that boat, I would either have to be the captain or I would have to kill myself.
The two open positions on a boat, being driving or jumping off.
Yeah, that's like, because I can't work the deck and I can't like do the laundry.
So anything on a boat.
Yeah, I'm not good. There are very few things I'm good at, and it's
Stand up.
talking and writing.
Yeah. Are
Those
you
are
a
the two
good
things.
teacher?
Yeah, I am a good teacher.
Could other people say that?
Yeah.
Younger people?
My students? Yeah. I have good rate my professor reviews.
Do you have good hot professor?
They took off the chili pepper, but I used to.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit.
I know.
What was the question?
What job would you be bad at?
Most. Anything in an office. I was in an office for a long time and I thought I was gonna
Jump off the boat? What did you do in an office?
I was like my first couple jobs, dude, my first job that my aunt got me, and God love her soul, she was just trying to look out, and she really hooked me up. It was an ingest operator.
What?
So when television stations were switching over from tape to digital, they needed somebody to digitize their whole tape library. And so I would just watch tapes while they digitized into a system.
Okay, that's so much easier than working on a boat.
I wasn't gonna make it into a thing. But and we were also in the hull of a ship. And it was loud and cold, and we slept on cots.
Okay, well, in that case, you beat me.
It was just very boring.
Yeah,
I
okay.
remember my favorite part of the day was sweetening a coffee with a like a hot chocolate packet, and I would look forward to that.
Yeah.
That was the best
Well, I feel
part.
like every comedian becomes a comedian because they don't want to work a day job.
Yeah.
Here we are.
Like that's what they said when I got hand tattoos.
They were like, "You're never."
There goes your day job.
Yeah.
And
And he was like, "Ha ha ha."
yeah, give me more. I don't care what they are.
Yeah. And
What
it shows.
do you think everyone should try once?
I have an earnest answer, which is meditating.
That's nice.
I
I thought we're only supposed to do earnest answers.
I'm being earnest, okay?
It seems like
okay,
it.
yeah. I think everyone should try meditating. I've been skydiving. I like that.
Whoa. Zoe did skydiving.
Did she like it?
Yeah, and I did not. And she met one of our closest friends doing it.
Wow.
Kinda nice.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Never tried anal, you know?
Everyone should.
I think I can make it through life without ever.
I think every couple should try to do a threesome, if I'm being totally honest. But it only works with couples who are super honest with each other, and I don't think that.
My boyfriend and I have been talking about a threesome, but it's so clear that I want to do it and that he's like afraid of me.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Usually
I
how
don't know
it
if that's a
Do you
good.
guys have a really open and honest relation? Like, do you talk about anything?
Yeah,
top of
but
it?
I also think he's. I end up controlling things not because I'm mean, but because
What do
he's
you
so
call it?
nice. Yeah.
I'm not mean. He's
No,
just
I think I'm like
nice.
avoidant. So sometimes I think he'll want me to do something, and then he'll he'll ask me, and I pretend like I can't hear. Like that's annoying. Like instead of being like no, I'm like oh.
So you're open and honest, but you feel like you can't talk about anything together because sometimes you look at the birds or whatever.
No, that's. I think we're open and honest about sex. That's what I should
That's
have said.
good.
Yeah.
That's if you're gonna pick and choose. That's a good one to be honest about.
All right, next question. What do you wish you had more time for?
I mean, anything I say is going to be a lie. Like, I wish I had more time to exercise. I do have time to exercise. I just don't want to do it.
That's your only answer?
No.
Because that
Listen,
can't be the right. You can. Now
I'd
that
like
you
to
know that
see
you
my
have-
my grandma more. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
my grandma's really funny and cute. She lives in a place for elders, not
Like a
that far
shoe?
away. Yeah, she lives in a shoe. They have like really cute activities. She just had an art show.
Cool.
And I didn't
didn't
go,
go.
and I feel bad. I'm like, I gotta go see
Let's bring her
Grandma.
out, Grandma.
Yeah. Now that would be cute. I actually did a podcast with her about dating, and
Oh,
she said
shit.
such funny, cute stuff. She said stuff that I'd never heard her say before, and like you put a microphone in front of her, and all of a sudden she was like,
Yeah. she's
"My
like, "Time to
boyfriend
get it out."
Bill." Yeah, it was wild.
She said the threesome thing.
Yeah, she said
She's the
exactly
one
what
who
you
planted
said.
the seed.
Yeah.
What do I have more time for? Family is a good answer.
I'm also a big procrastinator. That's like I think one of my worst qualities.
Wish
So
I had more time to put stuff off.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. You
Do
know,
this
to
the
play
day
my
after
online
tomorrow.
poker and stuff like that.
Do you do online poker?
Yeah, you know, I'm a gambling addict.
Oh, yeah.
But not addict, not in a, I'm fine, anybody watching this.
It's like fun.
Yeah, I'm not like a total degenerate.
The hat's not below your eyes because you don't need to be.
No, it's because I don't
recognized.
want you to see deeply inside of me. I don't trust you.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, family's a good one. I like making art stuff. I always make art stuff for jobs, but I would like to make art for the sake of making art.
What kind of art are you talking
I
about
do
here?
photography.
Okay, I know that, but
and I like doing that.
I'm
Sometimes
picturing
I
you
just wanna-
painting.
I wish I could paint. Painting is a very admirable. Like I don't have the patience for it.
My dad took it up in retirement, like watercolor painting. He's so bad.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's
He
not-
said
it's
he
not
wanted to
about
paint
that.
me. I was like, what the fuck?
In watercolor.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
I'm
just
going to
like
be
a
a
bunch of
stick
puddles?
figure. Yeah. I'm a bunch of
I like when
puddles.
people do those pen and ink drawings over watercolor. You ever see that?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
nice.
he's not at that level.
No.
I
Sorry,
can
go
go to the
ahead.
next question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What joke do you wish you wrote? Was there someone you've recently heard you're like,
I
wow,
just heard
that's
Danny
killer.
Jollis on that show where I bombed and he didn't. He had a joke I really liked about Jews. I'm going to butcher it, but about like everyone says, you know, everything bad the Jews created or like they
What
work
did
at the
they
banks.
say?
We own the banks or whatever. You're going to edit this to make me look like the anti-Semite. And people will be like, no one says that. And I'm like, don't people say that Jews
how
fuck the
Jews
best
hate
and they're
pizza?
evil? They're addicted to threesomes? He was saying something like, either the Jews, either it's a lie, like the Jews don't control the banks, or the Jews are doing all this stuff without him, like not inviting him to.
Yeah.
I like a joke that Kevin Camilla has where he talks about how breaking up is so hard. It's like trying to move a fridge. You have to keep doing it like back and forth till you get any traction. Okay, listen to these guys tell those jokes and you're really going to love them.
I love it. It just felt like you didn't believe in it at the end.
Well, I don't want to tell. I didn't believe in it.
Tell
It's
somebody
not my
else's joke. That's what you
Okay,
did
here,
at that
let me
show
do
that I
Mike
saw.
Falzone's joke.
No, do the hand thing. It was pretty accurate aside from the hand thing.
Oh, well, what do you two? Where do you two work?
Where do you both work? I would never ask two people at the same time that. That's not how you do it. It's one by one or nothing.
Where do you work? Where do you work? Where do you work? I'm Mike Falzone. Thank you very much.
You have to tie it all together at the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, all of your jobs are similar in this way. Thanks for coming out. I like Willie Simon's jokes about global warming and about how he says that he wants to. It's either he wants to like help it or hurry it up, and then he talks about eating the bees. He wants to eat the bees. It's like, yeah, the bees are in danger, and I'm eating them, and I love that. And then Matt Lockwood has a really funny one right now where he'll ask
Where he says he
people-
hates the Jews.
Yeah, and I think that's hilarious. He has one where he asks people like what their pet peeves are. Did you ever see him
No.
do that? And he'll be like, what's one of your pet peeves?
People who use baby talk.
Yeah. And then he'll say, that's a good one. And then he'll go, I hate when the U.S. will accidentally bomb like a school, like drone bomb a school. But yeah, baby talk that is annoying. And then he'll go, I hate that a lot of women can't choose the rights they have over their body. And then he'll go over to somebody over here. But yeah, when people walk slow, that's a good one too. I didn't think of that.
Megan Gailey also has some great pregnancy jokes that I can't recall any of them, but I just wanted to put a woman out there.
Oh yeah. I have never heard a joke that a woman has
No,
said.
when a woman talks, Mike hears wah, 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 wah.
Yeah, and some of you do it funnier than others.
All he hears is like tits, 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 tits.
Yeah, my vagina. Why is that the go-to, like, women always talk about their vagina?
I know, it's very odd because men are talking about their penises
You know
just
what
as
I
much.
wish everyone knew? I feel like there is a like a belief system behind women getting up there and being really crude. And like I think that's where the vagina thing comes from. All these jokes are about like 3 things. And I wish that everyone could be evolved to the point where no one thinks either side is funny. Like a guy getting up there and talking about his dick the whole time is not funny.
Just as not funny as a woman talking. Yeah. Mike's Amish, and he doesn't want anyone to talk about their bodies or sex.
I don't want people to acknowledge their
that
bodies.
they have.
Not in front of me.
Well, also like online, when men will try to compliment me by being like, "This is funnier than other," like they're still insulting other women by trying to compliment you.
Yeah,
I'm like, go fuck yourself.
I love your jokes, but don't think I like any other.
Yeah, like you're the only funny woman, or thank God. It's like what the fuck, or like thank God a woman not talking about sex.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, did you even like the joke, or you just didn't hear the word? And then the next joke will be about sex, and it'll be like, never mind. So mad.
That's too bad. You guys do have so many more shitty comments to deal with.
We also get a lot more views.
Yeah.
I think women's stuff is getting viewed more often, so men can scream at us. Yeah.
Yeah, and we do.
Yeah,
like to spend
Mike
the
has
first
a
15
fake.
minutes.
He's got a fake,
Not a fake.
handle.
Verified account. I'll go on. Great, another woman talking about boba tea. And I'm tired of the bullshit.
Overrated and underrated cities to perform in.
Uh-oh. This is a business question.
I just got back this last weekend. I was in Charlotte, North Carolina, and Des Moines, Iowa, and I loved them both. So I'll say those are underrated. And I went to Nebraska recently. I liked that. I like cities where there are like corn, I think.
That's where when we have the map out.
Yeah, I'm like, corn. Well, every time I go to a different city, I sound like such a fucking idiot because I have like no sense of geography, and I'll be like, what are we near?
What do you guys got, corn?
Yeah. And I
the
kept
whole
calling
middle of
Nebraska, Iowa, and they were like, it's Nebraska. And I was like, whatever.
Like, yeah, but you need to understand that I don't have a difference.
Yeah, and I was like, to me, you're all corn. I don't give a fuck.
The most LA thing.
I got to drive a tractor in Nebraska. I was like, this rules. And the guy was like, okay. Like,
You're going 5 miles an hour.
exactly.
I guess underrated would be Vancouver.
Oh,
I've heard people talk shit about Vancouver. People talk shit about Connecticut in general, so I'll just claim Connecticut as being good.
It'd be funny if Mike thinks Connecticut's in Canada. He's like Vancouver,
Yeah,
Connecticut.
Ottawa, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Ottawa's not a problem.
What do you think? I don't know that anything in my mind is like overrated. There are places like I don't.
We're just happy to be there.
Yeah, truly.
Because you think about overrated places, people are like, Chicago is awesome, and Chicago is awesome, and then New York and LA are awesome. I haven't done like Utah yet, and people flip out about that.
Like they say that Wise Guys is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done it either, but I hear it's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have
I
a
don't
good.
have a good answer. Sorry.
What's the dumbest thing someone has ever said to you after a show?
I can remember the thing that made me feel. Oh, I have the dumbest, and then I have the thing that made me feel the weirdness. Do we get two?
Yeah,
Do you have time?
Go for it.
Yeah. Do I have time?
The dumbest thing was, this is the first time I was in Vancouver, which kind of destroys that second answer. You ever have the thing where they'll come up to you as a group of friends, but they'll try to like put down the other ones because they're in front of a comedian and they think.
Oh, like one guy's putting his friends down in front of you?
Yeah. So a guy did that with like a girlfriend that he was there with. And then she like got all nervous and her hands were shaking or whatever. And she was like, yeah, look at shaky hands over here. It's like she was born with MS.
This is a terrible guy.
Yeah,
That girl should have broken up with him right then.
Oh, no, I think they were just friends. They were like buddies.
Oh, okay.
Why
Like
is
imagine
shaking
your
so bad,
boyfriend
Hannah?
saying that in front, like shaky hands, she's
Yeah.
R word.
We're engaged. R word. That's worse than MS.
I don't know.
And then I was like, oh, my dad has MS. So he was kind
Okay,
of.
I like that. I mean, don't like that your dad has a mess, but I like these.
No. He'll hear about that. And then he's a big fan, by the way. So he's going to be
I'm a
heartbroken.
diabetic, autoimmune diseases.
We also have that one. What else? What was the other one? I had one, but then I lost it. Do you have one? Oh, I got it.
You know, this happened recently. I thought it was like the nicest thing anyone said to me that was stupid. It was like this tall, beautiful woman, and she came up to me after, and she was like a model, and she was like, "I wish I was your height." And I was like, "No, you don't." But that was the nicest. I was like, that compliment will literally keep me going for.
Yeah, and she knows that.
Years. Yeah, she was like, "I wish I was your height. Like, I'm so tall." And I was like, "Okay."
Sometimes I just want to disappear.
Yeah,
You ever feel that?
exactly. Yeah. Sometimes people will ask me, do I really teach at a college? I think
pretty dumb.
they'll be like, this person is such a loon. There's no way that she could actually be. And then I have to be like, well, I'm adjunct. I'm not like tenure track. Honestly, they're cutting my classes every semester.
Hell yeah. So you have more time to do jokes.
Yes.
Do your jokes ever fuck up your job?
No.
Never.
I had a joke where I was, no, I'm nervous. I had mentioned that I had the Heisman Trophy winner in my class, and I wanted the joke to be about my teaching, not his.
But they didn't even hear anything else. They heard one.
Well, I just got my boyfriend who works in sports was like, "You got to cut that joke. You can't put that joke anywhere. That's gonna get the whole college football association, whatever, in trouble." So then I was like, "Okay."
Okay.
But the best thing about teaching over 18 is that they can't.
legal.
No one can touch you. But I will talk about
You got it.
No, I want to touch you more. I will talk about recently I was yelling at Christian women online because I'd said something about a student being hot. I was joking, and then a woman was like, this teacher wants to violate her students, and then I'm screaming at this woman being like, they're over 18, as though I want to. I'm advocating for fucking my students.
Right. You said that at the Valley Pop.
Yeah, I'm like, why did this woman trick me into saying I want to fuck my students?
It's like, we got her.
Yeah, exactly. We're the cops. They come in right now.
Screenshot. They're on
to
their
catch
way.
a predator.
One time I was feature for a headliner that I really like as a friend, and we were doing the greeting line on the way out, at a wake, and they were they came up to me, probably a friend of a friend, somebody brought somebody, and was like, "Oh, you were our favorite," and we're right next to each other, and it was a big deal that I was out with that person, and I just said, "That's very dumb. You don't have to."
But that's still cool for you though.
But
not in front of the guy. Could you have just said that to me privately? I went to Jumbo's Clown Room recently. Shout out to Jumbo's.
Yeah.
And I was so embarrassed because I did that thing that we hate when comedians. I was in the bathroom and I saw my favorite dancer, and I was like, "You're my favorite." And then 2 other dancers came out of the bathroom, and I was like, "Oh my god, I love you guys too." And then they were like, "Everyone says she's their favorite." And I was like, "Oh, and she was the best."
Yeah. And she dances a little bit harder for the rest of the night.
Yeah.
Because she knows her number one fan is there.
Yeah, I'm throwing my $2. I have no money.
I gotta go.
Yeah.
What is something you wish other comedians would stop doing?
I got one.
You say it.
I don't like when people initiate crowd work and then immediately shit on the person.
Oh, I hate that. I agree with that.
It's what are you doing?
Yeah. No, I hate when you can see that the person is panicked and doesn't want to be spoken to, and then continue. It's let this person live. They came to see a show, and you're making them miserable.
What I feel like a lot of comics don't do, unfortunately, as part of their read the room process, is think about that. How much do you love being home and being comfy and watching whatever you want to watch on TV, literally doing whatever you want to do. And they didn't do that. Instead, they're out at your thing, listening to you. And you're like, your job is what?
Okay, that reminds me of something I don't like, which is the crowd will just be a quiet crowd for whatever reason. They're just not loudly laughing, but you can tell that they're enjoying it. They haven't loudly laughed at anyone. They're kind of smiling, and then someone will get up and start yelling at them for not laughing and being like, "Oh, so you don't like dead grandmas or whatever?" And everyone in the crowd is just like, "What do you want from me?" I didn't know that I had to
I'm still here.
I'm here and enjoying it. I think comedians, we get so hung up on not hearing what we want to hear, and then I think yelling at the crowd is always sort of scary.
Dude, speaking of something I don't want to hear anymore, and this is a little bit more specific and mean, but I don't like as a punchline.
People do as a punchline? Okay, I've never heard that, but I gotta agree with that.
There's a lot of things that people do to cover up for the uncomfortableness of dead space, but sometimes the dead space is so important. but when you don't have like the full confidence.
I think anything that's like a cliched thing that people go to, like that one was just for me.
Yeah.
Stupid. Then say it at home. Like that one was just for me. Why? These people paid, you know?
Yeah. You should have to pay ticket price if you say
Yeah,
that.
and I have to say, I think that it's so many more men doing that, or like being proud of bombing, like
I
getting off stage and
100%
being
done
like,
that.
the crowd hated it, but I loved it. It's like, what is wrong with you?
Another one for me.
Yeah, exactly. And then women will get off and also never, like, not usually blame the crowd, just be like, I fucking bombed, like I suck, I'm terrible. And then men are like, crowd hated it, I loved it.
Yeah.
You're like, what planet are you on?
Yeah, I'm gonna go drive 3 hours back home. I didn't get paid for this show. But yeah, I've seen both of those things. I've been part of because sometimes you gotta own it when you're bombing. You're like, well, I still have 9 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I like comment, you know, when I see people, I think this is like a stylistic choice. They decide like I'm gonna just drill through my jokes like a professional, but I think that can be very off-putting if like they're not paying attention to what's like going on in the room.
I was told to not do that.
Yeah, I think that's weird. But I
'Cause
see
that's,
some
like,
people do
cementing.
it, and I'm just like, oh, they're like a robot, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
What is one thing that people wouldn't believe was true about you?
I feel like people don't believe that I gamble as much as I do.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And I feel like people, because I'm small, like people think such a small woman can't
Gamble.
be addicted to gambling.
Where's she gonna put all the winning?
Exactly. They think I can't like see over the chips, you know? And it's like, I can, yeah. And I'm going to the casino, you know, probably too much. I'm like, when I'm paid in cash, I'm like, oh,
Bye-bye.
bankroll. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I sports bet. I know nothing about sports, but suddenly when I sports bet, I'm like Rain Man.
Do you have so
I know.
much
I like
money?
know the. No, I bet
Then
like
what are you
$100 bucks.
doing?
I know. I know, but I
That's
love
what we're
it.
here for today.
Well, also it's like I was doing stand up in Reno, and when I bet, I'm putting like $20 down on a game,
You
and
gotta
it's
bet at
so
Reno.
important to me.
Yeah.
You know.
Just being in a casino in Reno is awesome.
Oh, and I was, you know, I sold a novel. Thank you.
Congratulations.
And I was in the sports book working on my novel, and I
Yeah.
wrote one sentence because I was so invested in the games.
So it's a tax write-off.
Yeah, well, and suddenly too, I know so much about football. It's like I don't even understand the game, but if I like bet on the Super Bowl, and then I was like 2 more yards, I was
Yeah.
like, where did this come from?
You could literally say I wrote about sports.
Yeah, I was like, I understood first downs.
Dude, if you wear that hat around nice and low, like you are,
Yeah.
and you told guys, if you were single and you were like, I write about sports, they'd be like, whoa, what? You want to talk for a long time in a bar?
Yeah, a lot of men want to talk to me about gambling, for sure. And then you realize they have like a true problem, and you're like afraid for them.
And how are their problems different than yours?
And that's a good point. Because I'm a small woman, so it's charming.
Yeah, how can I help?
And if you're a big man, it's scary. Okay, I have small woman privilege and white privilege,
Yeah, you do.
both of them.
Yeah, you do.
What would people not believe about
No,
you?
let's do more about your
No,
stuff.
I've had enough.
I feel like the thing people mainly don't believe about me is that I used to play a lot of sports when I was younger.
That
feel like I
seems
don't-
mean. Why don't people believe that?
I feel like I don't give that off now. Like I was also a musician and I sang, and that was a huge part of my life. For
that
like a long time.
makes that checks out.
So it's one of the
Yeah,
other.
yeah.
If I tell people I was on the basketball team in high school, they're like, no.
You
Do
know,
another
I
one.
was on the basketball team in high school.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's
that
even
should have been
worse.
mine. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
a point guard.
Yeah, yeah.
So
You're
they're-
one of the girls that the ball makes the ball look massive.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty much anything I hold. That's why men love me.
Yeah, that's fun. That's kind of a fun perk.
If you could recast your favorite movie with comedians, who would be in it now?
Recast your favorite movie with comedians. Like the movie previously didn't have comedians?
It could be a comedy movie or a non-comedy movie, but now you're putting comedians you know in it now.
That's very funny because one of my favorite movies ever is PCU. So I'm just replacing Piven with somebody else.
I don't know PCU. I've never heard of that.
It used to be on Comedy Central all the time. And I don't know if it's just when I caught it, but it was one
Maybe
of my
I'd do like The Devil Wears Prada, but it's Mike Falzone. And he's like the assistant to Meryl Streep, you know, and he's like running around
You're
and
not
she's
going
like
to
screaming at
Paris.
him.
Yeah.
And Mike's like, I'm not going to Paris.
I'm upset.
Yeah, you're upset.
I can do it. I have rain.
Okay, done. Spielberg. That's the only director I've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Let's
James
get him
Cameron.
on the phone.
You wanna do Devil
Scorsese.
Wears
Okay,
Prada?
I've heard of a lot of them.
Yeah.
Next,
I'll stick with the PCU answer.
I'll stick with Devil Wears Prada and starring Mike Falzone.
Favorite restaurant and what makes it so good?
I love mozza by me for like a special occasion. You know,
Damn, there's so many good ones.
that's
You
the
don't have
first
to pick
one.
one. You can do like top 3.
I like Giusti.
Oh, that's good.
That's a very, very good, I think, Italian place.
I like Guisado's tacos.
Yeah. There's this place called the Valley Inn by me in Sherman Oaks. And it's like you would never know it's there. It's in the middle of it's like a steakhouse in the middle of some neighborhood, some like wealthy neighborhood. And you go in there and you're the youngest person by 1,000 years.
Okay, I like that. That's kind of like a steakhouse in Eagle Rock. That's like old school.
Probably has
Is
a
it
very
Columbus?
similar vibe.
I also like Musso and Frank's for like a dirty martini and a steak.
Cool. Yeah.
You meet your 13-year-old self. You can only tell him 3 words. What are the 3 words?
Okay,
and
you're
why?
gonna give so many hand jobs at these bar mitzvahs. Okay, sorry, only 3.
Only 3 words.
Hand,
Please use lotion.
hand job.
Good job. Bye.
I wish I could have told my 13-year-old self that I would only feel comfortable doing hand jobs for like the next 10 years. Which, you know,
Yeah. Just one hand.
Maybe
for you
be
on
a
the hand job?
comedian, you know?
Be
But,
a comedian.
yeah. Hand job expert.
Can I go back? Can I keep coming
At
back?
the beginning of this, I talked about how I embarrassingly spoke about hand jobs recently, and now I've said it so many times on
It's
this.
been a staple in every answer you've
Yeah.
given. I would say don't give up.
Oh my God.
No.
It gets better for Mike Falzone.
That was the first one. I talked myself out of doing that as the
it gets
joke one.
better.
Or like you'll be fine. But
Oh,
like in a
that's kind of sweet.
condescending, it is sweet, like the sentiment is sweet, but I know how I would say it. And I would say it in like I'm annoyed watching
When
you.
did you know you wanted to be, or when did you, think you wanted to do comedy?
I always thought I was too dumb to do it, but I was always a great admirer of it. And then
Is it okay that I asked a question?
Yes.
could we just get Jack to say it?
He doesn't like when women talk or ask him questions.
I just don't hear it. So I got to the point in music where I was like, I'm going to go as far as I can doing, like I plateaued as far as like getting better. I was like, I'm not going to try to get any better than this, but I don't have that with comedy. So that was the kind of like, oh, I'll pursue this for the rest of my life because I never want to like, there's never going to be a plateau. I just always want to keep learning on how to get better. And I was very excited by that.
Okay, that's cute.
Thanks. Not
What's
allowed
the
to be
best
honest.
conspiracy theory you can make up on the spot?
Mike Falzone's beard is fake.
That's a conspiracy? Who's benefiting?
And in the conspiracy theories, only me. Like, does it count if it has one member? I mean, I like inlets of the flat Earth thing where they're like, they don't quite believe in flat Earth, but, you know, they're like, triangle Earth.
Triangle Earth.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
That's what I'm
Cone
starting.
Earth.
Yeah, cone Earth.
Singing makes you gay.
Oh, I thought you were going to say something about Jews.
Why did you assume that? Why do you guys all assume that all the time? Yeah, that's mine.
All right. If when you died, you got put into a room for eternity with people who died the same exact way, how would you want to die?
Wait, what?
So you're put in a room for eternity with the people who died the same way you do.
Are you the age of when you died?
Yes.
Like in an old folks' home, you take a pill to fuck,
Uh-huh.
and then you both die because your hearts can't take it, and then you're just in the room and you fuck forever.
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
60. Okay, I'm gonna go 60 years old. I think that'll be enough.
Picking it.
And what did you say?
Picking your age.
60 years old. I walked. I think an elevator is coming and it's an empty shaft, and I just fall down this elevator shaft. Just imagine all these 60-year-olds who walk down an elevator shaft and there was
Do we
no
have the
elevator.
numbers on that? Do you have an infographic?
No.
Okay. What's the over/under on you dying at 60?
3 to 5.
Oh yeah, I'll take it.
What changes have improved your life so much you wish you did it sooner?
Meditating. Because number one, I'm already very affected by placebos. Like Blair Saki's got me taking all these herbs for my mood, and I think they're working, and of course they're not.
Yeah.
But meditation actually does. I find it to relax me.
It's cool. It's very cool. Good answer.
Oh, and I like for concentration, I like something called the Pomodoro method. Do you know that?
No.
You set a timer for 25 minutes, and you're not allowed to do anything in that 25 minutes but like work on the thing you're supposed to work on. Like if you're writing, you're not even allowed to like read. You have to like sit there and write or like stare at the wall. And then you take a 5-minute break where you like kind of get up and walk around or do something else. And then you do another 25-minute, and it just breaks it up. And then after 2 Pomodoros, you take like a longer break.
Give me 2 Pomodoros. Dude, I do something similar, but I set the timer for like relaxation time. I'm like, I'll play video games for an hour and then I'll go back to
Do you set a timer so that you don't relax for too long?
Yeah. Isn't that fun? So I can look at my phone and see how much fun time I
Yeah.
that cool
That's
to
good. You're like in a
relax?
playpen. Your wife's like, okay, Mike, we have 20 more minutes.
Hey, because snack time isn't nap time, is it?
Yeah.
And she does dictate my day like that. I'm gonna say waking up early.
Okay, I gotta try that.
It's so awesome, man.
What time do you wake up?
You don't want to know. It's gonna make you mad. I don't want to make you
6
any-
a.m.? Oh my God.
Most times it's like 5:30.
You're like a boat captain.
I am a boat captain. I'm the youngest boat captain.
That's the only people I know who wake up early are boat captains. Like I could have said like nurse or something. Like boat captain.
No.
What's
Nurse
the
on a
most
boat.
annoying thing people do in public?
Watch stuff on their phone.
Yeah,
real loud.
I hate that. Or have full conversations on speakerphone.
Yeah.
Except when my dad does it because he's an old Jew.
Whatever.
So it's funny.
You could forgive old people to a certain
Yes,
extent.
but like young people having loud, just be aware of other people's space.
I'm a big like no social awareness.
Yeah.
As long as you're not autistic. It
Of
annoys
which
me.
Mike is.
It annoys me real bad.
Yeah,
If you have if you have a note from your doctor that says I can't pick up on social
Or like
cues,
walking and looking at a phone and like bumping into everyone. I want to take that person's phone and fling it.
sure. Or if you've ever seen a woman do stand up, right? I
Wah,
thought
wah, wah, pussy.
the only words I hear.
Yeah.
Do you have a pre-show ritual?
I like to like sit and write a set list that I never look at. I sometimes like if I get a drink ticket, I like a vodka tonic.
Yeah, I do this mantra where I pretend I'm not going to bring my notebook on stage.
I just like the act of like writing, and then I never do the jokes I had meant to do, the usual. And then I say 3 times, I say, I hate Mike Falzone, I hate Mike Falzone, I hate Mike Falzone.
And then he crushes every time.
Yeah.
I like writing stuff down. I like to do that. I like to be quiet.
I think it's like the act of writing is like
Yeah.
helpful, even if you.
Did you ever take a stand-up class ever? Or are you a cool guy?
No, you know who brought me in? I did a storytelling class actually, but Rachel Mack, do you remember? Not do you remember? I'm acting like she's dead. She lives in
She's
Wisconsin
passed on.
now. She's alive, and she's a mother,
Peace.
and a great comedian. And she brought me to open mics, and she was like my intro, and that was like nice. And I've tried to do that for younger girls
Nice.
who want to start stand up. I go, let's go to an open mic. Although I don't know exactly. I feel like maybe everyone says this. When I started, there seemed like so many good open mics, and I was asking someone younger recently, or like, what are the good? There don't seem to be as many lately.
They're always around. They just charge you for everything now. They charge you for a slotted thing.
I don't
which
like
is
slotted. I
interesting.
liked how when I used to do it, it was like a hang, and people
Yeah.
were coming out of a bucket.
And it was 3 hours, and sometimes you didn't get up, which is supposed to happen. Open mics are supposed to make half the people quit.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's too
well, it's
convenient
also
now.
like was pre, TikTok and all that stuff, where I feel like now people are kind of finding their voice there, which I'm trying to be more accepting of. Do you see how accepting I sound?
Yeah.
You just won $1 billion. What are you still not buying?
Slotted mic spot. What am I still not buying? A condo in Los
Crocs.
Angeles. Crocs.
Some other ugly clogs that I see girls wear.
Yeah. Dude, there's a lot of like really cool, expensive cars that I'm sure this is an easy answer for me because I don't have a lot of money, but I would never buy that even if
I
I
was
had
just
a
going
lot
to
of
say I'm
money.
not a car person, but maybe I say that because I drive like an old Volkswagen that gets me around fine.
Yeah, but what if somebody put you in something that was like ridiculous?
No, if I had enough money, I would want to not buy a driver, buy a person
Buy a
to drive
driver.
me around.
You heard
Yeah.
what she said?
Okay, cut that. I'm not getting canceled with Mike Falzone.
Both of us die in the room at the same time.
Yeah.
We just do
And
this
then I'm in
podcast
eternity in hell with Mike Falzone. I'm like trying to get through an elevator shaft to get somewhere new.
forever. Like pushing through.
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody call it. Somebody call the elevator.
Worst date you've ever been on?
My current boyfriend, why did I say current?
3 years that's been.
My boyfriend now
Yeah.
is the only person I'd never dated on an app before. I met him on an app. So I feel like before that, I hadn't been on bad dates because I knew the person. Like, we met naturally, and then they would, like, ask me out. But I went on a date with one guy from the app, and he talked about his ex-girlfriend the whole time and
Tight.
how she, like, he was very mad at her. And that's not great on a first date,
Yeah.
And I
And he
also
was
found
expecting
myself, like,
you.
sticking up for her, Like, I wasn't attracted to him to begin with, and then I spent an hour being like, I feel that what she was trying to do.
Yeah. Dude, sometimes you could tell by how much of a piece of shit the person talking is, how much of the benefit of the doubt you give whoever they're talking about.
Right. I felt like this. I was like, thank God she got away. I was like,
Jen's
give me your
probably not
number.
like
I'm gonna like, yeah.
There's probably a specific one. I've been on dates where it's like the girl doesn't really want to go, so she just doesn't say anything the whole time. And I'm like, just don't go.
Okay,
now
that's
I'm-
so funny. It's so funny for someone to be like, fine, I'll go with Mike Falzone. I just won't speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're doing
is
crowd
kind of
work
the
on her. That's where the show came
So,
about. It reminded Mike of his dates.
Crowd work is when you talk to yourself to have fun for an hour.
Yeah.
I
You
call
do,
it-
by the way, have a great name to say both, like Mike Falzone. I feel like I can't say Mike.
You've never called me by one or the other.
No, I gotta say Mike Falzone.
I have that with a lot of people. For
It's a good name.
fine.
This is the worst date I've ever been on.
Yeah. This is kind of what it feels like.
No.
If you could wake up tomorrow having gained any one ability or quality, what would it be?
I have no sense of direction, like in a way that's like, I think I have some sort of disorder. Like when I'm in a restaurant and I go to the bathroom, I exit and go to the kitchen instead of like wherever I've just, like I never know where I am. My GPS froze once and I went into a whole new city.
Yeah.
I was like, where am I? Like crazy. I just was like on one road for so long.
Yeah.
And suddenly I was like in like Granada Hills. I was like, I
How'd
could
you
be
even find your way
anywhere.
back?
And finally the GPS started. So I would give myself a sense of direction.
Okay. This is one of those things that's not really a thing. Like one of those ones where you're like brag when somebody's like, do your faults, but you say, I give to charity too much.
Yeah, you're like, I work too hard. I never know when to quit.
Yeah. I wish I had a higher bullshit tolerance. Because sometimes when we're out and I hear people talk, ever since the pandemic, I don't wear it on my face well. I can't convince my face to tolerate
be,
the bullshit
like-
conversation.
But I like that.
It's good, but it does make for uncomfortable
One of the things that this isn't
situations.
like a thing, but a thing I'm trying to do more is like say what I really mean. Because I think sometimes especially as a woman, you're taught to be polite. So I would like listen to a man talk, even though it's so stupid. And I'm like, I don't want to hurt his feelings by like telling him that what he's saying is untrue, or you know. And it's like men are like explaining books to me. It's like I have a PhD, you fucking loon, you know. Yeah. And now I'll be like,
sometimes they put a black and white picture of the author on the back. That way you know who's writing it.
So now I try to be like. It's not to say like what you're saying isn't interesting because that's cruel, but to be like, I have to leave. I will remove myself.
Oh, you'll bounce.
Yeah, I'll just be like, I can't stay in this conversation.
Yeah.
You know.
Can I tell you something embarrassing?
Go ahead.
I literally was just talking to Zoya about this. Whenever I'm bored in a conversation or very tired, I think my eyes start to cross. And then I'm like, what is this other person seeing right now? And what do they think of what like their story?
Yeah. They're probably just like, he's got something wrong with his eyes.
Fuck, man, this guy's kind of weird.
Yeah,
Meanwhile, you're like telling me about a drink you had 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. Well, and sometimes when comedians talk about their careers, you know, I don't find that all that interesting. You know, they want to compare managers, let's say, and I'm like, I want to kill you.
Yeah. And why is that?
That I want to kill them?
Yeah.
Because I think often what they're really saying is like, I'm feeling insecure, you know? And so like they'll be like, but instead they're like, do you like your manager? And I'm like, yeah, I like her fine. She doesn't care if I live or die. Who cares?
Any type of forced conversation, and that's the way it should be, by the way. Any type of forced conversation to make up for the fact that silence would be happening if this wasn't.
Or to say something like truly vulnerable, which is like, oh, like I'm feeling like I want to be like further along in my career. If a man says that to me, why do I keep making it like it's men? But for whatever reason. And then I would be like, oh, let me like listen to you, like what you're going through. But instead to be like, that person's getting more than they deserve. You know, they just don't say how they really feel, which is like, I'm sad and scared.
Dude, if more people were like, I don't get a lot of opportunities and it's probably because of something I'm doing, I would listen to that.
Right. Or like, or just being like, I'm feeling a little sad or something, as opposed to like, let me tell you like how many views I, you know.
Yeah, dude voice.
Yeah. And I'm trying to do the thing too where like, I'm just trying to say more often what make my actions and words say how match what I feel inside.
Yeah, make them count. Because already so many people don't hear the ones that are coming out. You gotta make the ones that are out
Hear
there.
this. I hate you. When I said I'm not going to be polite to men anymore, it's Mike Falzone.
Yeah, you
is
can
number
practice.
one. Yeah.
You can practice because you know that I don't hear it.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, you know I don't matter. I was going to be like, yeah.
Well, also that.
If you could relive one moment in your life, which would it be?
Threesome.
Okay, I'm sold on having a threesome. Like, I'd like to be there when I was getting born. Like, just a thing I didn't see. Like, I think that would be interesting.
How do you think your life would benefit from that?
It would be such a cool story to tell people.
You ever see yourself be born?
Yeah.
Dude? I would check out so fast because I'd be like, you're a crazy person.
If I was like, I got to see myself be born.
You were so psyched to the point where like you want that memory. You want to relive that memory above all other memories?
Well, I don't know that I want to relive it. I'd just be interested to see what it is like.
Yeah.
All right. Last question. What's the hardest you've laughed? It can be a recent time if it's
when we finally got out of the pandemic, like we were able to walk around. I like did a show and then went to dinner with like Noah Finling and a few other people, and I just remember feeling so like shot out of a cannon, like on a high to be like out and about. Like I was like crying, laughing at probably Noah wasn't saying anything that funny, you know, but like
he is very funny.
Yeah, but something about like being out and having that was like the first time like we were allowed to be.
Sure.
Yeah.
Dude, He's like here right now.
I love Noah. One of my
He's like,
favorite comedians.
No, I remember that. I said.
Yeah. That is something Noah would do. Also want to say I love my manager who I do think, okay, Maggie Haskins, artist first. You do care if I live or die. Okay. She fires me right after this.
Hey, saw the podcast. I'm going to say something, but it's going to sound like a plug for a podcast. I have a podcast with my friend Steve.
Oh, I thought you were going to say with your wife.
With my wife, who I laugh the hardest with all the time. No, we laugh really hard together, but me and my friend Steve, we have this fucking relationship where it's like, I laugh with him like I used to laugh with like my childhood best friends at like sleepovers. And we have a podcast where we do it. And I won't say the name out of respect.
Oh, that reminds me, a friend of mine from growing up, Rachel Hall. You know Rachel Hall, right? Just a total huge jugs, like total loon. Like the loudest cackle. A guy, my friend matched with a guy on like Hinge or something, and her only mutual friend was me. And she was like, "How do you know Amy Silverberg?" And he said, she and her friend Rachel used to prank call me. And so I was asking Rachel about it, and we were like, oh yeah, we prank called like well into our like late 20s. And we were doing this thing where we would call and be like just men that one of us had gone out with or that our friends had gone out with, and we would call and be like, your coat's ready at like Nordstrom, and they'd be like, what coat? And like, your mom bought you this coat, and they'd be like, what coat? And then Rachel would go, your pubic hair coat! And it was so stupid, and we would laugh so hard. And I was like, remember like our prank call? She goes, pubic hair coat, you know? Anyway.
Yikes.
Shout out to Rachel Hall and the pubic hair coat.
Yeah, man. It brought you so much joy.
All right. That's the show.
That was it?
I was trying to think of a better example.
I was gonna, your wife is so funny.
Yeah,
too.
she's very
When
funny.
I met her, I was like, she should be the comedian.
She is very no bullshit, and she's very like, she doesn't tolerate shit.
And you
she's
guys
very
have
authentic.
a real like rapport. Like I bet that threesome was fun. I bet she was like, shut up, Mike, during it.
All of those things are true.
She's like, you're moaning too loud, Mike. Shut up.
You're having too good of a time.
Yeah.
Don't be trying to remember this forever.
Yeah. That's what my mom said when I was being born. She was like, bitch, don't remember this forever.
Let this one breeze by.
Don't return to this memory when you're coming out of my vagina.
All right. Great work. Thank you,
Thank
guys.
you.